Hi, Aditya. We can get started.
Hey, good morning, everyone. This is good. So, welcome to our talk on automated threat analysis. We are going to talk about how do you leverage about automating your threat analysis across your entire Splunk ecosystem. And today, this is our forward-looking statement. I have to show this. It's necessary. Uh, we have Nick Hunter, who is our principal product marketing manager. Nick, you want to say hi?
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Nice that you're all here today.
Sounds good. And I am Aditya. I lead product management for one of the Splunk security product called Splunk Attack Analyzer, which go side by side in the entire realm of automated threat analysis. A little bit of brief about me. I'm based out of Santa Clara, California. I started my career at Microsoft Security, worked as a SOC analyst, then I worked at Varanus in product, and now I'm at Splunk Security, again in the product realm, leading Attack Analyzer. So before we start this session today, like key things to note here. I am not here to actually sell anything. I'm just here to enlighten folks across different features or different use cases that we have within our Splunk ecosystem that we have built for. One of the main important part is automated threat analysis. We all know Splunk is a place where you like store a bunch of your logs. So it started as a data company. Then we built security on top of those logs. So it became Splunk Enterprise Security. And then we moved into security. Now that we had logs, we had data, we had detections, we built some automation and response. So we got a new product called Splunk SOAR. And now, on top of that, we needed automated threat analysis just so that you have your data, you have some automation and response, and you want to take some analysis on top of it, which is automated. And so we got Splunk Attack Analyzer. Today, we are going to discuss about this entire end-to-end situation where what capabilities do we want to offer and do we offer at the moment in the realm of automated threat analysis. And we will discuss it across all the different products that we have today with respect to Attack Analyzer, Splunk SOAR, and Enterprise Security. So this is first question for everyone in the audience. I see a bunch of folks that I recognize. I see a bunch of folks that I don't. Simple question: is your organization already using Splunk Attack Analyzer? Do let me know this. I'm gonna wait on this slide for like half a minute, 30 seconds, and accordingly I'll move my talk track that hey, what should I actually be discussing here? I think we have 18 submissions. I'm gonna give 10 more seconds. Sounds good. Let's see. So 5% of you have Attack Analyzer, 65% don't, and 30% don't know if they own Attack Analyzer. Uh, Sounds good. Sounds good. So I'll keep the talk track of what automated threat analysis is, what Splunk Attack Analyzer is, why both of them exist, and what value can you gain out of it. So before I start, a brief about entire SecOps struggle, which is common to everyone. Everyone amongst us already know this. 49% of the SOC analysts believe that they are jumping from one tool to another while they don't have time. 64% of the SOC analysts believe they do not have enough manpower to deal with the amount of cases that are flying in. It's always a struggle against time, against the quantity of alerts that are flying in a SOC analyst queue, and less an amount of manpower to actually go and deal about it. And the third one is, hey, it takes 9 weeks for an attacker to actually penetrate in your system today. So we see this struggle again and again, and it can be said that hey, there is a lack of bandwidth, there is a velocity of credential phishing and malware that hey, 9 weeks and somebody is in your environment, and the visibility across different products because you have to jump from one product to another in the minimum amount of time to actually go and solve the alert that you're looking at faster way possible. So these struggles are common to all, is known by all, and still exist in our industry even when we are in 2025. So all of these call for one single thing, the need for automated threat analysis. Splunk is invested heavily to actually provide you an automated way of analyzing all the threats. And the reason and the way through which we do it is Splunk Attack Analyzer. Now, let's look at what traditional tool attempts to do to address this entire problem of millions of cases flying in within your environment. So we see that any email, file, and URL that flies into your environment today has a perimeter protection stack. This prevention layer can be seen as hey, I have proof point, I have abnormal, state of the art inline processing system. And some of these emails, files, and URLs are malicious, which are not caught by the system, and they very well caught all the things that they should be catching, right? Now, once they are inside your environment, these malicious files, emails, and URLs, they somehow get reported and land into SOC queue. Now, they can be alerted by all the inline protection stack, or they can be alerted by some vigilant employee who are reporting these. And then these land into analyst queue. In analyst queue, you look at it, you see the entire manual submission, you take these files, emails, URL, run them through multiple enrichments in different traditional tools, different sandboxes, and you have to jump between a number of tools at the same time and do all the analysis manually or semi-automatedly. What we learned from most of our customers was it takes around 3.5 hours or 3 hours for most of our customer to close one case, which is email phishing. And this is not sustainable when your organization is clearly growing, your data is clearly growing, and you have millions of cases flying in, and the queue is always going to go bigger and bigger. So how do you address a problem of solving one case from 3.5 hours to something which is much, much faster in an automated fashion because most of them repeat a pattern? Here comes Splunk Attack Analyzer. I have a bunch of things on my slide, but what clearly I want to convey from this and why are you looking at it is one simple thing. Attack Analyzer helps you automate the analysis of files, emails, and URLs. And it tells you, hey, whatever I just saw, was it credential phishing? Was it suspected malware? Was it a spam, a scam, or a business email compromise? What it does is it thinks, what would a human SOC analyst do next? Whenever they are looking at one single case, what is it that a human SOC analyst want to do next? Or what is it that an attacker wants your user to do next? The tool has the ability to think about it and intelligently go click all of those links so you don't have to, and ultimately tell you what actually happened. Attack Analyzer takes manual work out, is consistent, and it provides you very high quality analysis of all the threat. And it does a bunch of automation things that I'm going to go and show you in detail in my demo. So consider an example that an email landed in your SOC queue. A user reported an email as a phish. It landed in your SOC queue. Now you have to go and check, is this email a phish? We see that email, it has an activation code in its text and it has a PDF attached to it. What it essentially means is, hey, I have to use this activation code to unlock my attachment. So Attack Analyzer goes, looks at that code, remembers it, uses intelligence to open that PDF, decrypt that PDF, and see, hey, there is a QR code right here. It looks at the QR code, it changes itself to a mobile agent so that we are not device fenced, then it redirects us to wherever the QR code is actually taking us. We land on a page which might be malicious, might be a lure page, and is asking you to interact before the page loads. So you click your button, you interact, you ultimately see two different options there. One is to, hey, do you want to log in here? And the second one is download our software from here so you don't have to actually come again and again on this website. Attack Analyzer intelligently follows both of them and tells you this link is actually redirecting me to a Microsoft phishing page. The download, when gets downloaded, is ran in own Splunk Attack Analyzer sandbox and tells you, hey, this was a credential, this was a suspected malware. So you see both the cases of suspected malware and credential phishing in one single email, and I'm going to talk more about it. The gist is it does a bunch of things one by one, like looking at bloated EXEs, bypassing CAPTCHAs, following QR code, interacting with lure page, redirecting through a bunch of things, running custom malware in its own sandbox or a corrupted zip, and is always looking at some of the password protected files which might be carrying some suspected malware. So it does all of this. It jumps through all of these on its own, just so that you don't have to. It jumps through all of these hoops. Now, why did we build this tool? It's a tool that does a bunch of things. What motivated the team to actually go and build this tool? It's very simple. You have the best perimeter protection stack. You have the state of the art inline protection stack like Proofpoint, Abnormal, and so on. The list goes on. And they do exceptionally good amount of work. Then why is attacker able to bypass them? We see that attacker understood the entire concept of inline protection stack, where millions of things are flying inside your tool, inside your environment every day. This millions of things needs to be analyzed by your perimeter protection stack, your inline protection stack, your swag, your proxy, and so on. And the amount of time it is provided for this inline protection stack to do the entire analysis is bare minimum. They have to do the entire analysis in less than milliseconds and then tell you that, hey, was this suspicious or was this not suspicious? Attackers understood it and they started making this entire analysis complex enough. They thought, hey, if I add a QR code in between this email, if I add some email, some URLs that gets redirected again and again, if I hide something behind a captcha, if I add some lure pages which requires you to enter some credential, I am able to bypass all of this perimeter protection stack and ultimately enter your environment where users have to interact with this malicious artifacts. And so they understood the concept of there is a trade-off between cost versus time with all the environments that are out there, and they tried to play with it. And whenever there is a trade-off between cost and time, one has to give. And the thing that gave over here was the time. The cost increased, the time was still less. Attackers were inside your environment. And once they are inside, this is the problem. Now, we are not trying to change your perimeter protection stack. We believe that they do a great job. We believe that they empower your automated threat analysis. Anything that fires up in your perimeter protection stack, from your proof point abnormal, from your SEG, ICES, from your endpoint detection to antivirus, any SWIG and proxy, anything that are firing up from here should ultimately land into a tool called Splunk Attack Analyzer, which does the entire automated analysis for you. We are the secondary defense. So we provide a bunch of things to you. You can do threat hunting here. You can do retroactive alerts from here. Vigilant employees can report your email that can lie into Splunk Attack Analyzer. And there are some threat detection that we are providing which are state of the art. We want to make sure that, hey, these are false positive, these are false negatives, and these are true threats. So only spend your time in true threats, and we will minimize your false positive and false negative. Everything that comes into Splunk Attack Analyzer gets a verdict on a score of 0 to 100. 100 being most malicious, 0 being very less malicious. So that is what we do for your perimeter protection stack. Perfect. Now, I would like to share my screen and actually go about to show you how Splunk Attack Analyzer works in day-to-day. So let me know if my screen is visible, Leslie or Nick.
Looks good to me.
Sounds good. So let's dive deep into one of this Splunk Attack Analyzer case. This is a score that's provided by Attack Analyzer on the score of 0 to 100, 100 being most malicious. We try to map what kind of verdict it is. It can be a phish, a scam, a spam, a malware. We give you what all malware families is this malware associated with. Our malware team is so advanced, most of the cases of malware that we find does not even have an industry name associated with it. Then we have different kinds of phish brands, which we let you know that, hey, these are the brands attackers are trying to phish within your users. We provide you a bunch of information like SHA-256 and all. And ultimately, this is the beauty where we'll land to. This is resources analyzed. It basically tells you what all Attack Analyzer is actually following. So we see that there is a zip file, this phishing email, or this email file that ultimately lands in your SOC queue. What will we do after this? So this email has a mobile activation.eml, and we see an exclamation mark right here. Any exclamation mark in Attack Analyzer tree tells you this part is malicious. Something malicious is happening here. So let's go and see what is actually happening here. Splunk Attack Analyzer takes a screenshot throughout the way in all of these steps. So you can see in a few seconds what actually happened one by one immediately. So this is the email, mobile activation.email. We see that there is an activation code, and we see that there is an attachment. Attack Analyzer uses that activation code to actually go and decrypt that PDF. sorry about that, decrypt that PDF. When we decrypt it, we see that we are getting followed here. On getting decrypted, we see that, hey, there is a QR code we are following. This is the PDF. There is a QR code. We use mobile agent to actually follow because attackers are intelligent enough. If we follow this through our same laptop that we are following, then it turns out that attacker will redirect us to Wikipedia or google.com just because it's device fenced. So we intelligently change whenever we see a QR code because user will take out a phone and scan it. So do we. We scan it using a mobile agent and get redirected to a page next to it. We see that we are ultimately reaching this sso.pekin-bank.com. Activation is complete. Click here to begin testing because you reached that page. On this page, there are two different things. One is, hey, this is click here to test your mobile login for this bank, or you can download our file and start using this app. There is a password associated with this file as well. Attack Analyzer is intelligent enough to remember all the passwords that are lying in the way, and whenever they see a file, it uses it to actually decrypt it. So here, we or Attack Analyzer follows both of them because a SOC analyst will follow both of them. So you see the line goes 2 times here. Here, we ultimately land on the sign-in page, and when we do, we see, hey, this is a Microsoft sign-in page, and I have to actually log in with my Microsoft credential. What we actually see is Attack Analyzer is providing you detection where this is detected as Microsoft phishing attempt. Key thing to know about Attack Analyzer. Most of the tools out there tells you this is a thumbs up or this is a thumbs down, whether it's good or whether it's bad. Attack Analyzer, on the other hand, provides you bunch of detections and a score associated with it, just so that we can provide you as many amount of information as you want, just in case you have to take some remediative action on top of it. You should be sure, why am I going to take this action? And that is why Attack Analyzer provides a bunch of detection, which lets you know, hey, this was a detected phishing attempt. Why was it a detected phishing attempt? We saw next.php, Ajax credential post destination, and it keeps on going. We provide you detections throughout the way, one by one, over here. Then we ultimately land on the second option of us actually downloading that file. We download it. We have a state-of-the-art sandbox called Cape, and we run anything in that sandbox. So any executable that we encounter in this redirection will ultimately be detonated in our own sandbox. So here we detonate that zip file in our own sandbox, and we can clearly see, hey, it gets an exclamation mark, which means this is malicious. We run it in our both the sandboxes and get a bunch of detections, which is around, hey, ML model scored the executable as probably malicious. It has trojan.ransom.loki byx. We can see that Cape, our sandbox, detected it to be from a agent Tesla malware family, and whatever Yara rules hit the target, dropped, or Suri extracted, all of these are then told to you one by one. Because Splunk Attack Analyzer is also part of Cisco portfolio, we provide you a new detection, which is Cisco AMP file reputation within Cisco, to let you know, hey, was this malicious? If it was malicious, with our own internal file reputation tool lookup. One interesting thing other than this is our URL reputation lookup. So we provide you URL reputation across these 4 tools: URL Void, Google Safe Browse, URL Scan, and Cisco Talos. So all of the 4 are used and provided enrichment on any URL reputation or any file reputations that you see throughout the way. And we do a pretty good job at it by providing multiple vendors right here, free of cost, just so that you know all the reputation and enrichment. And this is how we ultimately finish one entire job of Splunk Attack Analyzer. This entire job takes around 3 to 4 minutes, and you can come here, resubmit it, or run some interactive modes across it. So what are interactive modes? I'm going to go and talk about it in a second. But anything that you see on the left-hand side here in terms of summary is basically our own engines that are empowering any detections that we are seeing on the right-hand side. So these email analyzer, static file analysis, clam AV, static AV, Yara rules, all of these are our own engine, and they provide you detections throughout the way. This is how a normal job within Attack Analyzer looks like. And now, there are actually 4 methods of using Splunk Attack Analyzer. The first one is advanced mode, where you come here, you can choose any internet region that you want to default out of, just so that if you ever encounter a geofence attack, which means a URL which for consideration ends with .br and should take you to Brazil website, will ultimately take you to a Wikipedia just because you are exiting out of a different internet region. So geofence attacks can be countered with Splunk Attack Analyzer by moving out of any country that you want from here. Similarly, for device fencing, you can move out of any mobile agent from here. On the right-hand side, we have engine selections, and you can see a bunch of engines on the right-hand side. You can use all of them one by one, or you can just choose to close one and go into a faster deep analysis mode with one particular engine while you are submitting. Submitting a job here is very simple. Just type or paste a URL here, or just copy paste or upload a file here. So it's pretty simple about that. Then we have an interactive web mode and an interactive sandbox mode. Interactive web mode is basically a browser inside a browser session, and what sets itself apart is the amount of performance that it provides. It's a safe environment where you actually can move in and see what is actually happening here. So our browser is up in less than 5 seconds, and the amount of performance that it provides. So let's click on a draggable object, and I'm just gonna go to some draggable object. Let's see if it's here. You can see how fast my mouse is actually working inside this. Even if I have something in W3 schools and I have this drag object, how simply can I actually go and drag it or copy paste my stuff right here? My mouse is still working alongside me and the performance is very fast. You can take screenshot throughout the way, and you can add analysis of 5 minutes just so that you're not running out of time in a safe environment to do any web analysis that you want. So this is our interactive way of analyzing any web. Now, if you come back, we have an interactive sandbox. We provide you different OS versions. We provide you different browsers, and you can just select the length of any length that you want and run any job in our own interactive sandbox. We take a screenshot throughout the way of any analysis that you're actually encountering, and we provide you a resource tree of which all processes did we follow, which all links that we saw, and what were the detections throughout it. So that is our own Splunk Attack Analyzer. I'll talk a little bit more about it going ahead. Coming back, what are some of the other things that we actually want to talk about? We want to provide you a special end-to-end investigation workflow, which means I have a tool which does the entire automated threat analysis for me, but how do I take a remediative action out of it? Comes Splunk SOAR. Splunk SOAR provides you a bunch of capabilities, and using Splunk SOAR with Splunk Attack Analyzer unlocks a number of things for you. First, you don't have to actually go to many playbooks, eliminate your complex playbooks, because you don't have to use multiple threat analysis products. You don't actually have to go do a bunch of URL repetition from different tools, just because you have one single tool that is doing everything for you, Splunk Attack Analyzer. You can conduct automated threat analysis, and this can be performed without any manual investigation right here. And while you do so, in the end, whatever verdict you get in Splunk SOAR, it can use that verdict to take some remediative action for you. I will actually go and give you an example of one situation which would make it much more easier. So this on the right-hand side is a playbook, and you see that there is a Splunk Attack Analyzer playbook block in between. So what is actually happening? Consider an email that is landing on your page and it's in your sock queue. It lands into a fish pond within Splunk SOAR. Attack Analyzer is used to detonate that email and give you a thorough analysis. It gives you a verdict that, hey, Attack Analyzer is telling me this is a fish. Splunk SOAR then goes and sees, is anything actually suspected here? Who all received this email? Who all interacted with this email? And then it goes and pulls all of those emails out of your inbox. It then takes some remediative action and runs some playbook that is very limited and related to the particular email that we saw today. It sends email throughout to the users that, hey, this email has been pulled from your inbox and it was actually malicious, and it can do a bunch of automation and remediation tasks along with threat analysis. Key point to note here, some of our very mature customers told us that around 6 to 7 minutes is the time frame that we have ultimately landed to in our entire MTTR process. From the minute an email that has landed in a SOC queue, it takes about 7 minutes to actually take remediative action out of it once we are empowering Splunk SOAR with Splunk Attack Analyzer side by side. Something that used to take 3.5 hours now takes about 5 to 6 minutes. And that is the kind of efficacy we are providing in your own end-to-end investigation workflow. You can actually use Splunk SOAR to ingest all the emails into Splunk Attack Analyzer, along with UI or email submission address that actually exists today. So those are the three things that you see to ingest anything in Attack Analyzer, and Splunk SOAR just powers everything for you, because it not only sends stuff to Attack Analyzer, but it takes the action on the basis of whatever verdict Attack Analyzer is trying to provide you today. So that is automated threat analysis using Splunk SOAR. Now, we told you that, hey, this is the place where I can do my entire analysis. This is the place where I can do entire remediative action threats. But where do we provide you some phishing and malware threats insights? Here comes a new page, which is called Splunk App or Splunk Attack Analyzer. And you can see on the slide, like it has top fish brands, top fish kits, but like I would particularly want to go and show you what it actually is trying to show. So here you see that I can get to see, or you within your tenant will be able to get to see what are your total amount of submissions. What are your submission sources? Was it API or SOAR APIs? Was it UI? What kind of verdict are you getting? How many fishes? How many malwares? How many spams are you actually able to find at the moment? We provide you a score range. So something interesting about Attack Analyzer, we provide you a score from 0 to 100, which can be essentially divided into 3 parts: high count, medium count, and low count. This is 0 to 30. This is 30 to 70, and this is 70 to 100. What it essentially means is most of our customers close any job that they see in the range of 0 to 30 without even giving it a second look, because they have the confidence on Attack Analyzer that this is actually safe and does not require my analyst to go and spend my time over there. So 10,000 of your jobs are already closed. In medium count, we want your analyst to actually go look at us, give it a second look, but can be closed in as soon as less than a minute, because most of these are never malicious. And then comes the high count, where we tell you these cases are for sure malicious. Your analyst should come here, look at it, spend some bunch of time here, see what is attacker trying to do, and why Attack Analyzer is telling me this is malicious, and then go take remediative actions out of here. So we provide you a bunch of beautiful graphs, UI, let you know who is submitting what kind of job, what is the average time that we are seeing, what is the minimum time that we are seeing. So we can see average duration of time is less than 2 minutes. Then we go and we see a bunch of things that, hey, what about my malware observed today? What kind of malware am I observing here? And you see a bunch of tenants that are right here. And similarly, a bunch of fish brands that you can go and select the tenant value, which is going to be your value, and see all of those things. Similarly, this is exactly what my slide is showing on the slide here, that hey, these are the brands that are getting targeted within my environment. These are the malware families that are being used, that are being leveraged to attack my environment. So these are some of the things that we see on Splunk app. And now comes the main part, which is our TDIR, threat detection and investigation and response. I told you about Attack Analyzer, I showed you Attack Analyzer, I told you about Splunk SOAR, and now Splunk Enterprise Security. Our new Splunk Enterprise Security 8.x, anything beyond Splunk Enterprise Security 8.x, which is 8.1, 8.2, comes with a paired Splunk SOAR. So it's now one single product where you can take all the logs, all the alerts in a queue, and use automative actions on top of it, and is powered by Splunk Attack Analyzer for a bunch of cases. So let's see what is actually happening here. We are on this page where we see, hey, I have an analyst queue here. I click on that analyst queue on the left-hand side, and I see this particular case. Let's let the analyst queue get loaded up. In a second, it will get loaded up, and yeah, there are a bunch of cases right on this side. So we choose one of the case, which is this. I actually opened it before. That's all right. And we want to see what is actually happening here. We have a bunch of detection name, what is actually triggering them, what are some of the risk scores, what is the severity, and what are some of the included findings. I can write some notes here, and I can actually go and view this investigation. When I go and view this investigation, I get an overview tab, which tells me what are some of the MITRE attacks that are mapped to this particular case. I see 5 of them are mapped: phishing, command and scripting, interpreter, and so on, right? Now that we know that it has phishing, we can actually go detonate this URL with Attack Analyzer to tell you all the analysis that we tried to show you. So you don't actually have to jump through anything. You can come here, right? You can go to automation and just run an action, which can go like, hey, I went to Attack Analyzer, I went to detonate that URL that I just saw. I use this URL to run it to Splunk Attack Analyzer, which is the connection between your Attack Analyzer tenant and your Splunk Enterprise and SOAR tenant. And you run it. Once you do run it, you see that, hey, it's detonated successfully, and it's going to provide you a job ID and an app URL to actually go and check. Within 2 to 3 minutes, this job will give you thorough analysis, as Attack Analyzer can go as deep as it can to provide you what is actually malicious here. And it can be done in the bunch of 2 to 3 clicks, that in your enterprise security, you can come and see the value out of Attack Analyzer. This entire flow is in threat detection and investigation response, your enterprise security 8, any of the 8 versions. That is the power that you get out of Splunk Attack Analyzer with enterprise security. Now, this was the entire concept. You should learn more about Splunk Attack Analyzer if you're interested into it. It was just a tool that we wanted to provide you to actually see what is the value of automated threat analysis. Just wanted to provide some bunch of knowledge that you can take and learn what we do within our Splunk environment today and how these tools can be leveraged to provide you much value and provide you analysis in less than 5 minutes to get a lot of things done. Uh, we have our Splunk.conf, that is our own user conference, coming up in September 8 to September 11. It's happening in Boston. You can register for the conference right here. If you're a Splunk customer, you can talk to your RSM and your sales manager, your account manager, and be present at RSM. We'd love to show you a bunch of extra things right there. You can also check out some of the resources on Splunk Adoption Hub from this QR code. So you can scan both of these to actually see what is actually happening. Then anything that I talked about today, there are a bunch of blogs that our marketing team has written, and you can find all of them right here on these links. These texts will be actually shared so you can go and actually see it. And again, scan that QR code for .con, and happy to see all of you at .con. I will take some time to actually answer a bunch of questions that everyone has.
Let's see. So do you have any case studies about how customers use Splunk Attack Analyzer along other Splunk products?
I actually do. There are a bunch of Splunk Attack Analyzer case study. Let me just find a link, one for you. So recently, Johnson Matthey did one of our Splunk Attack Analyzer alongside with Splunk ES and Splunk SOAR entire integration, which I think will be one of the good places to start for. I can drop the link in the chat. Let me know if everybody can actually see it. If not, I can actually open that link and share my screen to talk about it. So this is one of our customer, Johnson Matthey, who is fighting phishing and closing any investigation 83% faster with Splunk. So it increased their fidelity, it reduced their case management time by 83%, and 61% of them were actually closed by Splunk SOAR and Splunk Attack Analyzer, which is consistent with what we have seen with most of our customers. Around 60 to 65% cases are actually closed by Splunk Attack Analyzer and Splunk SOAR instantly because they are just noise.
Great. Let's see. We have a lot of questions here. Do I need to own other Splunk products in order to use Splunk Attack Analyzer?
No, absolutely not. Like I told you, Splunk Attack Analyzer is an independent B2B SaaS product. So all you need is, hey, I need to upload this by dragging and dropping. As simple as that, to having your API keys, to sending jobs from anywhere. Jobs, aka means emails, URLs, and files. Or you can have as simple as a phishing button on your Outlook or Gmail. Click on it, and those can ultimately land in your Splunk Attack Analyzer. I have a text from Gachapati. Can you please share the QR code for Boston conference? Let me go back. This is the QR code. Yeah. Is there any other question, Nick?
I think we have time for one more. How can I get a demo of Splunk Attack Analyzer?
Well, getting a demo of Splunk Attack Analyzer is pretty easy. You can let us know right here, right now. Or if you're a Splunk customer, You can talk to your account team and tell them there is a tool called Splunk Attack Analyzer. It might be doing something. I'm interested in knowing what it does and if it can solve a problem of phishing investigation or malware analysis for us. As simple as that. As Attack Analyzer is not a sandbox, it's way more than that, which provides you a bunch of things on top of it.
Great. And just an FYI, for those of you who have joined, maybe you joined later or you missed a part, we will be sending out a copy of this tech talk, so everybody will receive this recording, so you can rewatch it as you need to. All right, one last question: does Attack Analyzer work in on-premise instances of SC?
So Attack Analyzer is security SE. Is that
Probably
ES?
Enterprise security. Yeah, probably ES.
It's ES. So Thomas, I think you asked this question, and it's as simple as Attack Analyzer is on cloud, which means it can be integrated with your enterprise security, and it runs on cloud. So you can run it with or without enterprise security, and you can link it, as simple as that. Yeah, Thomas. So if you have Splunk Enterprise, Attack Analyzer will still work for you. You do not need to own any other Splunk product to run Splunk Attack Analyzer. It's completely independent. All you need is just a login credential and start the value in less than 3 minutes.
It's a good question.
Yeah.
I think that's all the time we had for questions.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Let's see, what do we have next? These are some of the sessions in Splunk community. You can actually go check out some other Splunk community office hours, where some of the folks like me will come and talk about some products within Splunk and how you can get value out of those products. You can use Splunk ideas to submit more of your ideas. We actually go actively look at it and try to build something on top of it. Then there are Splunk discussions where you can view all these tech talks that are happening in the platform. And Splunk answers, where you can actually use Splunk Enterprise to view or share any best practices that exist within Splunk environment. We also have an upcoming office hour, which is on Splunk 10.0, which is a new Splunk instance. It's here in this community office hour, you will actually have one person come up, guide you through how to upgrade to this and how you can use it smoothly, along with what power does Splunk 10.0 provides you. So it's on October 2nd, 1 to 2 p.m. PST, Pacific time. And thank you, folks, for joining us today.
Thank you, everyone.